The highs and lows in any production company contribute a lot to how the people involved coexist. They are either happy or sad. This is either during or after the production of a given project. Well, for the Disney's Descendants project, it is no different. Welcome to Riveted, and here are some of the most emotional Descendants moments. Cameron Boy's death. The death of someone usually affects people differently. This depends on how one is related to someone or the kind of relationship one had with the departed. For the Descendants cast, Cameron's death was a huge blow. Most of them took to social media to express their emotions. Some, like Dove Cameron and their condolence messages, broke into tears and had to take some time to cool off before she continued reading her message. Kenny Ortega, the Descendants director, in different occasions expressed his feelings on Cameron Boyce's death. From his Instagram posts to television interviews, he talked about how Boyce's death left a massive gap in the Descendants family. China McClain, on her Instagram page, apologized to the people she could not get back to when they contacted her because the news really affected her and she couldn't respond to their messages. In her own words, Sophia Carson, on her Instagram page, opened up on why it took her so long to respond to the news on Boyce's death. She said, "To our angel, there are not enough words. There will never be enough words. I couldn't bring myself to do this because doing this makes it real. Letting you go is not something I know how to do, and I just can't fathom living in a world without you. I love you, Cam, and I will love you forever." Others like Sky Jackson, Anna Cathcart, Sarah Jeffrey, among many others, shared pictures of Boyce that they took together with emotional messages and what Boyce really meant to them. We can't imagine how devastating this was, especially because they are just young people trying to make a name for themselves in the film industry. The Core 4 rap scene. If you've ever been involved in something for quite some time, it eventually gets into your system and becomes a part of you. This can be a musical group, a television series, or a charity project for a company you work for. Dove Cameron, Boo Boo Stewart, Sophia Carson, and the late Cameron Boyce formed a family when they were cast as the children of the most formidable villains in Disney's Descendants. They became so used to each other, and you could find them joking behind the scenes, kicking plastic bottles, and taking endless photos with each other. During the shoot, the director had an easy time with them as the bond had grown so much. When the director Kenny Ortega announced that it was a wrap for the four actors, it dawned on them at that moment that it really was the end. They held each other in a warm embrace, which was actually emotional to them. Sophia Carson went ahead and even shared it on Instagram. Making of the music. Okay, we have to agree that songs play a significant role in portraying different moods or messages in a film. Maybe anger, love, sorrow, you name it. The role songs have played in the Descendants movies really shaped the storyline and even showed us how talented the Descendants cast are. Let us take two songs that you can really see what we mean. We know what Rotten to the Core is all about, right? When it comes to the delivery, these actors did some justice to the song. When people judge us for who we are, and maybe their judgment is wrong or right to some extent, we always get the urge to tell people more about us or try to defend ourselves. This part is always emotional because it touches on who we are and the beliefs we have. It's a moment everyone would wish to have to get people to understand them. We may have different opinions on this, but we have to accept they really gave their all in this song and they were proud of what they did. Break This Down is the final song in the Descendants 3 movie. It's always a happy moment when two opposing sides decide to end a dispute to bring peace and live in harmony. This moment is always the happiest. All the Descendants fans will agree that it was a great moment to see these two groups come together and decide to break the barrier that had for a long time separated them. Whether you come together and dance, singing, or eating, and all that kind of stuff people do during celebrations, it's always a moment that people would like to repeat again, and that's why we have holidays that remind us of the great times. Break This Down was a perfect song for the perfect moment. The proposal. Some ladies shed tears of joy, some are surprised, and others just stare when their special someone proposes to them. It's always a special moment for a couple, and everyone always hopes that the lady will accept the proposal. We all waited for the moment Ben would propose to Mal, and the proposal received different reactions from fans and the characters. Ben spiced it up with a song that really touched Mal's heart. I mean, who would not want that? Who would not want the whole world to know how much someone appreciates them and that they want to spend the rest of their lives together with them? Especially if the person you're in love with is a king. Mal, like any other lady out there, was confused. Okay, one may say she saw this coming, but hey, we all hope that someday we'll get that special someone like Mal. When it actually happens, it's a different feeling altogether. Now, we said earlier that a proposal receives different reactions. We all saw what happened to Audrey. She saw what she deserved slip away from her in broad daylight. Whatever followed was spontaneous and wicked, and we can't blame her for that. She loved him. Awards. Yeah, we must have come across the phrase hard work pays, right? Disney's Descendants franchise was a successful project, and most of it is because of the input from the crew and the cast. These people really worked hard. The overwhelming number of feedback they have been receiving goes on to show that it had a huge following. When you put your heart and soul into something and do everything in your capacity to see it go through, at the end, there was always that person who understands your work and appreciates you for it. People like Michael Jackson, Prince, Johnny Depp, and many have been awarded for their excellent work. Recently, the Descendants producer and director Kenny Ortega was honored with the Hollywood Walk of Fame star for his exemplary work as a producer and a director. This was a special moment for the Descendants family. For the talented actors, it acted as an inspiration. Seeing someone you've worked with get recognized for the work he's done can go a long way in motivating you to work even harder to achieve what you set yourself to do. As young as they are, they will look back at this moment and draw a lot of inspiration from it. Mal and Hades. We always experience issues in our families, and Mal's reunion with Hades was one of the most emotional moments in the franchise. Some family issues are easily solved, but others take time. This is because they affect a part of our system. Mal was always mad at her dad for abandoning her, and it is understandable. Well, we totally get her because there's always that part of us which wouldn't allow us to forgive our parents for abandoning us. It's sad to see people talk about their parents in a good way and how well they are treated, and the kind of love they experience when one has no parent like Mal. She was angry and she confronted him. Hades, her father, tried to explain the circumstances that led him to leave, and the confrontations, the anger, and the bitterness, well, they sometimes lead to fights. Mal in the end decided to forgive her father, which brought peace between the two. This is a moment that defines a lot of people's characters and the willingness to accept the things one cannot change. Yes, at the end of the day, he was her father, but the choice of whether or not to forgive him was Mal's. Mal and Uma combined forces. Let's accept this. When two powerful leaders who are fighting against a common enemy join forces, everyone gets excited because the leaders are bound to be victorious. Okay, some people may have been disappointed because Mal became the queen at the end, but let's celebrate her friendship with Uma for a moment. The two characters are very good at what they do. As they say, give credit where it's due. Uma wanted to free all of the villain kids, something which most people felt was the right thing to do. The two coming together was a moment many fans of the movies liked. Forgiveness. When opposing parties agree to stop fighting and come to an understanding, there is always that moment of apologies. Descendants was about forgiveness, and the moments were very emotional. When Hades saved Audrey and Audrey asked Mal and everyone to forgive her for wanting to harm them, it touched a lot of people's hearts. This is a person who had been hurt but acted irrationally. The particular moment made everyone, including Audrey's grandmother, apologize to the people they caused harm to. Quite an emotional scene, if you ask me. It was a perfect scene that led to a very nice ending to the movie series. Broken friendships. There are those friends we would wish to keep forever. Unless other things beyond our control break the ties, the friend should always be a part of us. Well, at least that is what we tell ourselves. Sometimes we lie to protect them. This, however, may go wrong when the lies come back to haunt us. That was the case for Mao when she came clean about the decision to permanently close the barrier. It really angered not only Uma, Celia, and Harry, but her best friends, the core four. For those people who have been hurt because of a toxic friendship, it was really an emotional scene for them. Friendship is something that one holds close to their heart after their families. It's like a second family, and to face betrayal from someone you trust may be painful to take in. At least at the end of the movie, Mal apologized and they became friends again. We make mistakes. The least we can do is accept and ask for forgiveness, right? Did we miss any emotional moments you saw in any of the Descendants movies? I'm sure there are tons of other emotional Descendants moments. Let us know your most emotional moments in the comments section below. This has been Riveted, and we publish amazing videos daily.